Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Man Bites Film. This week we are going to be reviewing two documentaries that I've recently seen on Netflix. The first one is called Rats. This is a 2016 documentary slash horror film directed by Morgan Spurlock, and it runs about an hour and 24 minutes. This documentary follows the whole history and story of rats throughout all the world. I mean, it goes from the point of saying that they're a nuisance and a crazy, conductor of viruses and all that stuff, to all the way to where they're actually worshipped and they have a temple of their own. It's insane, this documentary, the way it follows all these rats. I mean, and how everybody treats them so differently. And it's pretty amazing how each different culture sees it as a different way. Obviously, the Western culture is influenced because of the Black Plague and all that stuff, so that kind of played a huge part in our obsession and hatred towards rats. Eastern culture is different, though. They weren't plagued by the Black Death, so it wasn't as bad, and they weren't considered like the bringers of death. So they were actually in some cultures worshipped and have their own temples, which is insane the way they do that. It's so cool. And then this documentary follows this guy that's sort of like an exterminator. He looks like something out of like a comic book. I mean, the man is literally lit like a comic book character, and he's just talking the cliche Brooklyn exterminator. He's like, yeah, I felt like, killing that fucker, smoking a cigar and everything type of thing. That's how it felt, which is very interesting and very funny. And the film has its amusing points and it has its historical points, which is actually really cool because you're learning about rats and the history of them, which is not a fascinating subject, but this documentary makes it fascinating. That's what makes a good documentary, I think, in my opinion. So, Rats basically is awesome when it comes to documentaries. I thought it was. If you enjoy learning about different things in different cultures and basically a history buff, I guess you could say, and aren't put off by rats and seeing rats, then I think you would enjoy this documentary. It kind of gives it a comedic twist to a documentary, yet it is also horrific, some of the images and stuff like that they do. And don't watch this while eating. There's a lot of stuff in there that you really don't want to see when you're eating. So I really don't recommend this. For, I would say, probably 10 years and younger, I wouldn't recommend, because they're going to have nightmares about rats. But for adults and stuff like that, we'll find it comedic. Again, if you have a phobia of rats, probably not so much. I wouldn't watch this. It's like me watching something about spiders, a documentary about spiders. I wouldn't watch that. No. So, Rats, I give this an 8 out of 10. Definitely recommend this one. It is currently streaming on Netflix, so easy access for everybody. The next one that I want to go into was actually up for an Academy Award. That's how good of a documentary it was. This is 2015's The Fear of 13. This is a Netflix original documentary crime mystery film. And it runs about an hour and 36 minutes, and it's directed by David Singleton. This follows the story of Nick Yaris that was imprisoned and put on death row. It's a Talking Heads documentary, but this man has such a presence that it holds its own. It is such a phenomenal documentary. I have not seen OJ in America yet, but oh my god, it has to be amazing if it beat this one. This film, I was going into it expecting it to be just this dull, Talking Heads, blah film about some crazy fucking nut job in prison that he's like, talking about, oh, I got in prison because for no reason, blah, 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 That's what I thought it was going to be, and I thought I was going to give this a crap review, or no review for that matter. But, wow, 10 minutes in, it grabs you by the balls and takes you on this journey with this man. And it follows the crime that he actually committed and why he confessed to something he didn't do. And it's very interesting how they put together these two pieces and the way that this whole documentary comes together. I don't want to reveal anything because it's so intriguing watching this, and it's so good, and I don't want to give away anything that would take away from that film. But if you enjoy, cop movies, shows, all that stuff where it's investigating and following a mystery type of thing, then this definitely is worth watching. This is something that caught... I give it a 9 out of 10. Just put it that way. A 9 out of 10 for a documentary. I don't think I've given a documentary a single time a 9. So this is the first. That's how good of a film this is. So please check this out. It's called The Fear of 13, 2015 film, currently streaming on Netflix. And it is a Netflix original, so it's easy access for everybody. Please check that out. And like always, we'll see you guys next week on another episode of Man Bites Film.